Look at this crowd here in Perth, over 15,000 packing in. Of course, George Kambosos, the Australian who became the undisputed world champion, will be in the main event against the great Lomachenko. All right, Tim Bradley, we have seen Andrew Moloney throughout his career, but I want to bring you back to what we saw on May 20th of 2023. We were getting set to call Devin Haney against Lomachenko, and on the undercard was the very dangerous Junto Nakatani taking on Andrew Moloney. And Andrew suffered one of the scariest knockouts we have ever seen. It was like a shotgun going off in the 12th round as he took a massive headshot, and the referee stopped the fight without a count. Now, he's had a confidence builder since then, but still, when a fighter suffers a knockout of that scope, you're different.
You're absolutely different, Tess, in every way. You know, mentally going in a fight, that's definitely in the back of your mind. You try to forget it. However, a couple of comeback fights, some good sparring against heavy-handed fighters. He does have an aggressive style. He does fight behind that jab. And, of course, defensively, he uses that high guard. But he's in there with a fighter that's just like him. Same tactics, like to come forward, like to be aggressive.
He was the former WBC light flyweight world champion, had 2 successful defenses.
I like the game plan right now from Moloney. He actually has the right game plan, and that's to put pressure on Guevara. Guevara, he likes to take his time. He likes to counter effectively, you know, with his combinations. But when you swarm him, he tends to get himself out of position. He's there to be hit. And Moloney, if he did his homework, the left hook is available for him because he gets a little wide with that right hand when he throws it. Tess, that's a sneaky body shot by Guevara. He steps in, he slips inside the jab, and he goes downstairs with a nice left hook down to the body. Sometimes he'll even roll the right hand to land that left hook downstairs. There it is again, Tess. He just turns that thing over. It's an automatic shot from Guevara. And on the inside, you see those small little short shots down to the body.
Brought it up with Andrew Moloney, but last May suffering, as we have said, one of the scariest knockouts that we have ever seen in all of our years of broadcasting ringside. This was the action against Junto Nakatani, Timmy.
You know, the young man, he took a lot of punishment throughout the course of this fight, Tess. He did everything he could to try to close the distance on Nakatani, who can box from every position. He can box from inside, outside. He's tall, he's long, he's rangy, he's a southpaw.
That is Angelo Hyder, who's the trainer of Andrew Moloney. Angelo Hyder, who, of course, has been very busy with the Moloney brothers for some time. We just saw him earlier this week. That was early Monday morning, our U.S. time, prime time in Japan on the undercard of the pound-for-pound great Naoya Inoue.
Hey, no punch.
But suffering some mighty lows. And now the week of action for the family starts with great disappointment. And then Andrew has to focus in, Tim, on his task at hand here tonight.
Yeah, you say the disappointment, but that gives opportunity for someone to be successful. And, you know, he can't go down just like his brother.
But does it apply extra pressure to him? That, hey, the family just lost the title belt on Monday morning, and now I've got this opportunity.
Of course, but it's added motivation on top of that. You get accustomed to pressure.
CompuBox numbers were fairly comparable in that first round. Guevara was 13 out of 50. Moloney was 12 out of 51. You did hear Angelo Hyder tell his charge, Andrew, that he felt confident with what he was doing on the outside.
Yeah, well, he's dictating the pace at which the fight is.
No punch.
That's how he's getting through the front door, and he's letting his combinations fly. Every now and then you'll see Guevara, he'll drop 2 down to the body. He's just investing in that body right now. He's extremely strategic in there. He'll turn it up eventually once Moloney starts to slow down a bit. Good right hand. That's a sneaky right hand. Guevara has a sneaky right hand. Sometimes you'll throw it behind the jab, and also sometimes you'll just freely throw it as a changeup. Extremely sneaky in there with that right hand. If Guevara was to add a little bit more feints, I like his in and out movement right there. That's a beautiful setup shot right there. Just creating space for himself, making those punches fall short from Moloney and coming in with his right cross.
So Guevara finding success with the right hand here in the closing moments of round number 2, live from Perth, Australia. Championship night of boxing.
Hey, then the right hand and the hooks and the rips will follow from that, okay? If you're in front, up and down with the monster.
Joe Tessitore and Tim Bradley, glad you're with us for this night of top-ranked boxing on ESPN. That'll be capped by George Kambosos and the future Hall of Famer Vasily Lomachenko fighting for the vacant IBF Lightweight World Championship. The action coming to you live from the RAC Arena in Perth, Western Australia. Round number 3 now between Moloney and Guevara.
Again, trying to get in position to land their offense. The later this fight goes, you're going to start seeing Moloney, his mouth's going to start opening up. You know, he's going to start getting tired. Punching power is going to go by the wayside as well, because Guevara's landing some vicious body shots downstairs, and that zaps your energy.
Bernardo Osuna is live in Perth ringside. Bernardo.
Joe, I just spoke with Jose Condor Sanchez, and he told me, look, I need Pedro to pressure Moloney, but it's got to be behind the jab. That's going to set up that overhand right, and we can continue to punish the body.
Good right hand right there from Moloney. Just sliding behind, again, coming behind the jab, blinding Guevara, coming right behind with the right hand. Another beautiful jab right there, getting out on that sequence right there. When you see fighters, they come in and they engage, and then they get out. That's what you're seeing from Moloney. He's bouncing in range and out of range. He's appearing to go out, but he actually stays there to be able to deliver some more offense. That left hook is vicious. And we say that a straight punch beats a left hook, but when you got great timing like Guevara and you're able to land that shot, that's a special shot that he's landing right there on the side of the liver. So if he gets it up underneath that arm and a little bit higher, he can do some serious damage. And the word I was looking for beforehand in the lead up was separation. You know, this going back and forth, Tess, back and forth. These rounds are very close. Both guys are having success. Right now, Moloney's dominating right now on the ropes.
Moloney with a late rally in round number 3. You see in that jumbo right above the ring the scenes from the locker room of George Kambosos, which of course will get a huge roar from the crowd. Pound for pound #1 fighter in the world, Vasily Lomachenko, right here on ESPN. Coming up a little later, it's the vacant IBF Lightweight World Championship fight. It is Sunday morning in Australia. 10:27 in the morning, so that we can be bringing you the action in prime time stateside. Andrew Moloney. Let's check in with Bernardo.
Just spoke with Angelo Hyder, who's a trainer for Andrew Moloney. He's very impressed with how stiff that jab is setting up the body shots, but he wants him to continue turning Guevara using angles and just take his time.
That jab can be so effective.
Yeah, because any dead space, if you're using the jab test, you're controlling the space and you're controlling your opponent at the same time. You break his rhythm, you break his posture, you make him pick up his feet. He has to readjust himself. It's a good thing that Moloney right now is winning the jab battle, because if you win the jab battle, more than likely, you're going to win the round.
Pedro Guevara targeting that body again. Oh, there's a right uppercut.
And that's a shot that Moloney is available for, the uppercut. Because he leans a little bit over that front knee. Again, you see him lean right there. He keeps his head on the center line, and that's a formula for an uppercut right up the middle.
See if he goes back to it. See that high guard from Moloney. He's trying to be tight defensively.
Again, the left hook. The left hook Moloney is wide open, especially when Guevara shoots that left hook downstairs. Look at the right hand of Guevara when he shoots that left hook downstairs. It's down, Tess, by his stomach, by his chest. Every time he shoots that left hook. There it is again.
There's the left hook to the body again.
Look at the right hand. Nice overhand right there. A common mistake by many fighters. Throwing a mid-range jab. Got clipped with the right hand over the top.
Round number 5 of our opening bout here on this night of championship boxing, coming to you Sunday morning live in Perth. And Guevara with a 49-45 connect advantage as we begin round number 5.
And most of his work has been downstairs. So committed downstairs.
28 body connects. See the punches landed.
You go downstairs, you start to weaken your opponent. You're siphoning his gas tank. I don't understand why a lot of fighters don't commit downstairs. Take whatever he wants to dish out. You take that away. You take his power away. You take his legs away. I think you guys get the point. Good discipline right there from Moloney. Staying composed. Even though he's getting hit with those shots downstairs, he's staying composed. He got his guards up in punching position. Anytime he wants to release something, he can. Nice right hand again right there from Moloney. Now the battle's starting to become more technical for the more technical fighter in Moloney.
Well, 2 times in a row, nearly a clash of heads, and that time I think they did. Yuji Fukuchi is our referee.
Guevara does have good legs, and if you're not having success coming forward, then use those legs to create your offense. He can draw Moloney in, force him to make mistakes, and make him pay.
Here in Angelo Hyder reminding Moloney, jab and move, jab and move.
Looks like Moloney is not worried about what's coming back from Guevara, and he's catching him when he's out of position. Nice
There's a left
right
uppercut that time from Guevara as he finds the target late. These two have these never-ending face-offs.
Look, it's a mental edge. You know, face-offs, okay, weigh-ins, you go to the weigh-in, it's a body show. Look what I've done in training camp. But with the face-offs, you know, we take into consideration like, hey, if you turn away, that means that I got the edge on you. We take that. Whether it's true or not, psychologically, you gotta be intact in this game, and you gotta look for any edge you possibly can. And so that's what you saw right there. Neither fighter willing to give an edge and show any sort of weakness.
Round 6 of our junior bantamweight title fight, an interim title here. The winner of this fight would eventually be in position to fight for the full WBC belt at 115 pounds. Of course, Juan Francisco Estrada and Bam Rodriguez. Bam Rodriguez, one of the true, in recent years, rising stars of the sport, will be meeting up with that title on the line. these two, of course, have been belt holders before. Guevara 10 years ago, the WBC light flyweight. Moloney had the interim super flyweight title in the WBA, lost his first defense. Had that great trilogy with Joshua Franco.
Yeah, I remember
that we covered years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was action-packed as well.
Yes, it was. He's never in a dog fight. Neither of the Maloneys. It's because of their style. Again, Andrew Moloney, he's a little bit more aggressive with his work. He likes to come forward. He likes to be inside that pocket. He don't mind mixing it up, as you can see here, when he perfectly can stay on the outside and outbox Guevara.
Well, our award-winning reporter, Bernardo Osuna, making the rounds ringside in Perth.
Absolutely. Jose Condor Sanchez says, I want Guevara now to take the initiative. He has to now throw that right to the head because he's focusing too much on the body. We've got to switch this up.
Yeah, I mean, the body work has been substantial. 35 body connects to this point for Guevara.
Still hasn't slowed down Moloney. Wasn't bit. Moloney still focused. Showing good form and technique. Holding it together, although he's getting hit with those body shots. But I'll tell you this, I wouldn't tell my fighter to stop hitting that body. I'll say you keep hitting that body, because sooner or later, it's something's going to penetrate and it's going to hurt him. It's the small things. Like, people don't understand. It's the small things to gain a psychological advantage. Like, even like the choice of corner. Like, I want to be in the red corner. I want to walk out first. I want to, because it makes us feel some type of way. It boosts the credibility within ourselves. So,
well, let's continue that conversation in round number 7. I'm curious what you think when it comes to this vacant belt on the line.
You can, more monsters. We'll give you the reminders here.
As we've given round number 7, CompuBox has Guevara ahead in total connects, 75 to 67.
Guevara ahead on landing shots. However, who landed the more effective shots? That's the difference. You know, this is pros. It's about hurting your opponent. If you're landing effective punches, if the judges see a punch land and it has an effect on the opposite or on your opponent, they're going to be counting those shots. They're going to be paying attention and saying, all right, that was an effective punch. It made them bag out. So you can land as many shots as you can, but are the shots effective? That right there is the question. Another head clash right there.
Yeah, you see Guevara complaining to the referee, Fukuchi, about a clash. No damage done. They continue on. Goes back to that left uppercut. You said Moloney does have a tendency to be out in front of that lead knee, and Guevara has taken advantage a few times.
And he keeps his head on that center line, the A gap, the A slot right there, right down the middle. He keeps his head right there. You see how he shot a shot and then he stepped back in range? We call that the firing range. See Moloney trying to take a page out of Guevara's. He's trying to get his own left hook down to the body now. Guevara's landing some vicious shots downstairs. Vicious shots.
Our 10-round women's bantamweight world title fight between Nina Hughes, the 6-0 fighter from England, and Chernika Johnson from Melbourne, Australia, of course, will be a fan favorite. And then it is time for Kambosos against Lomachenko. Last time we saw Lomachenko, it was that thriller against Devin Haney. Lomachenko has been very honest in assessing what happened in his career there. His heart was set on becoming an undisputed champion. He said, in my heart, I know I won that fight. People know it was a robbery. It was such a close fight. Could have done a little more right at the very end. It was an absolute thrilling fight, great stylistic matchup. But it's been almost a full year since we have seen Vasily Lomachenko, Tim, and we'll see him coming up a little later tonight. And the great Lomachenko, just moments ago, arrived here to the RAC Arena. Bernardo caught up with him. That is Bernardo Osuna backstage at the RAC Arena in Perth. You know, it's interesting every time you talk to Vasily Lomachenko, Timmy, about what his motivation is. In a day and age where so many times the motivation is the bag of cash, of what you can do in terms of cashing in this sport, he constantly will talk about belts, constantly will talk about how important titles are to him.
Old school mentality. Love it. Love it. Love every minute of it, because it's the aspect of competition and being the best and being considered amongst the best in the history. That's why I love Lomachenko. He puts himself, if you go and look at his resume and all the fighters that he's faced, I mean, he's faced former world champion after world champion after world champion, and it consists again tonight.
A two-time Olympic gold medalist.
Yes.
Then he turns pro. And when he signed with Top Rank, he said to Bob Arum, I want a world title fight immediately. He said, we can't do it immediately, but we can do it in your second fight, your third fight, which they did, of course. And he was, you know, you go through every fastest two record in the sport in terms of winning a world championship or winning multi-divisions. It's Lomachenko who owns it. He goes on to become a 3-division world champion, a unified lightweight world champion, and then came the shocker when Teofimo Lopez, as the vacant lightweight world championship in the IBF is up for grabs a little bit later on against Kambosos.
Oh, nice counter right there from Guevara. Beautiful work countering the jab of Moloney. Then coming behind that with a left hook. It's beautiful stuff right there from Guevara. You know, right now, if I'm in Guevara's corner right now, I'm telling him, step on the gas. Step on the gas. Don't allow him to grab you. Don't allow him to sit out. I'm telling him, work your jab on the way in. Look for him to counter with his jab. Come over the top of his jab with the right hand. Step in the inside the pocket and work him. Because those body shots are starting to take a little bit of effect on Moloney. Slowing just a little bit. And you gotta make them pay. You have to make them pay. Good shot right there from Moloney.
Short right hand from Moloney. This has been an action-packed round, round number 8.
And this is the separation I'm talking about, Tess. Because they have similar styles, and I know it's gonna have different ebbs and flows, but it's all about creating separation, and Moloney creates a separation right now in this round with that sequence.
And now round number 9 scheduled for 12. Interim championship on the line. Total body punches, that has been one of the major headlines of the night. Landing 50% of his 106th thrown from Guevara.
Will he get credit for that? That's what I wonder from the judges. Are they counting those body shots?
Break, no punch. Break, box.
Of course, the Mexican fighter in Guevara, veteran, has been a champion before. You see ESPN bet the live money line as Moloney's a slight favorite right now here in the midst of round number 9. Moloney, the Australian fighter, fighting in Australia in a highly competitive fight. And look at digging to the body again.
See, this is exactly what I said in the last round. What Guevara needs to do. Step on the gas, shorten those shots up. Break his rhythm with offense of your own.
You see Papachenko and Russ Amber, veteran cornerman. And then in the foreground there, you see it says Team Ferocious. So that is a member of George Kambosos' corner who has the right to be in the locker room of the opponent, Vasily Lomachenko, and watch him be wrapped. If they have any objection, it happens then and there. You see how relaxed Lomachenko is at 36 years old. 400 amateur fights, 2 Olympic golds, 3 division world championships as a pro. He has done it all, he has seen it all, and now this next chapter to be written here tonight, stateside, Sunday morning in Perth.
Everybody loves to see Lomachenko because of the style that he puts forth. He's aggressive. He's an aggressive defensive fighter, but offensive fighter at the same time. You know, and his footwork is phenomenal. And I want to see Lomachenko tonight. That's what I want to see. Does he still have that in him?
We'll continue that conversation in a moment. It is round number 10, scheduled for 12 between Moloney and Guevara, but an entertaining fight. Then we have the women's WBA, what Lomachenko brings to the table each and every time. You talked about what he is offensively, his ability to come forward in angles, but you also brought up his defensive prowess. Lomachenko, Timmy, is plus 16.8 in plus-minus rating. You say, what is that? Plus 16.8. Well, that's the difference between hit and not get hit.
Right.
What you put forth compared to what your opponent puts forth on you. And that is number 4 in the world among world championship caliber fighters. Top 4 in the world in plus-minus.
So if you say the top 4, guaranteed.
There's no doubt about it.
Guaranteed.
Guys like
Exceptional-
Dimitri Bivol at
Yes.
light heavyweight.
Exceptional footwork.
Yes.
Yes. Because that's what gets you in and out of range.
Right.
Get you.
Guys like Naoya Inoue.
Yes. Absolutely.
Even though he's a super offensive-minded fighter,
Like
you still
Lomachenko.
yeah.
Like Lomachenko.
Like Lomachenko.
Like Lomachenko. And the reason why Lomachenko has his style, he has short arms. Very short arms.
Right.
I think it's 66.5-inch reach.
And then the other spectrum of, you know, the really gifted boxers like Bud Crawford,
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
who can still be aggressive and a great finisher, but
Switch hit, fight well off the back foot, great at positioning. Absolutely.
see Angelo Hyder, the trainer of the Moloney brothers. Remember what we told you earlier about the week that they've been dealing with is Jason, the twin brother, lost his bantamweight title in Tokyo. And now here is Andrew Moloney, deep into this fight, highly competitive go of it against Pedro Guevara. Oh, there's that body shot.
And he ain't done anything about it.
Nope. That left to the body has been there all night.
Oh my goodness. No problem. That was a nice
Doubling it
double
up.
up that time. Yeah.
See a little bit of blood coming from the hairline of Andrew.
The right hand.
Straight right hand.
You understand?
Round 11, and I went into the corner of Pedro Guevara. Jose Condor Sanchez says, look, I need him to throw more combinations, no lulls in the actions, because I think because of all the body work we've done, we can break him down and take him out.
Bodywork's been significant, but I think would be most significant in terms of who wins this fight is how they apply themselves in these final 6 minutes, Tim.
I have to agree with you, Tess. You know, these last couple of rounds have been very close. Guevara might have stole those rounds. You know, you see Moloney, those body shots definitely has affected him. He's slowed down a bit. He's not as offensive minded as he was a few rounds ago. He's kind of being real selective with his shots, while Guevara right now is starting to slip in behind his offense and attacking his body even more and putting more and more pressure on him each round. And you saw Moloney right there, took a deep breath in right there.
There's that left uppercut, sort of a sweeping mid shot that came across towards the body and then up to the chin.
Nice little counter from Moloney with the right hand also.
Left hook again. Right hand to the body. Moloney trying to turn him on the inside, didn't fire off with the right hand.
You know what happens when you get hit with those body shots? You don't realize it. You don't realize what happened. And then you get into the later rounds and you're saying, why does my feet feel heavy? Why does my legs feel heavy?
Well, it slows you down.
I could barely throw with power. You know, my time is a little bit off. Like, what's going on with me? Just a little bit off, Tess.
Takes the legs out of a fighter.
Yes, it does. And now he's becoming more stationary because
Right.
they finally have the cumulative effect over time.
And with that, look at the ESPN Bet live money line, as it's an even money pick'em fight. But ESPN Bet live money odds have this dead even right now. What a perfect way to head to the 12th round.
Break. Okay.
Let's pick up the jab.
Moloney gonna learn real quick. You can't be taking those type of body shots from anyone.
Which way will it go between Moloney and Guevara? 12th and final round. And you can hear the crowd in Western Australia trying to rally support for Andrew Moloney. He has been eating a steady diet of body shots from Pedro Guevara. But you can see the confidence that's been bubbling up in Guevara in recent rounds.
By Nakatani.
Very first question I asked you tonight.
Think about that.
Hey, the last time he was on the big stage of fighting on a global, massive card, and we've been calling the action of so many of his fights in the U.S., it was one of the biggest knockouts we had ever seen, but it wasn't just the one shot. Prior to that 12th round devastating big shot from Nakatani, there was a thought that his corner may stop the fight. He took a ton of damage in that fight.
They thought about it. They thought about it. They hesitated. He said no. He went out, and then he got laid out. But I'm just saying, he's protecting his head, protecting his chin quite a bit.
And it opens up. It opens up the body.
Yes. Good combination right there. Good return. Fire from Moloney.
Hey, okay.
There's a left hand digging deep again to the body.
Same shot that's been landing from the first round.
You just see that little dip and you know it's coming. And there it goes again.
He slips inside the jab to be able to land that shot. Just slightly gets his head off the line, and then he rips with that shot. And sometimes he doesn't even move his head off the line, Tess. He would just shoot the shot. Just good timing, great timing.
Stop.
But if Moloney had a left hook, he would have to worry about that.
It's going to be interesting to see what the judges favor here, because there's no denying
I think it's so cool to see a fight plan or a strategy unfold like this. You know, you start going to the body early on. You're losing some of those rounds. However, you get to these later rounds, and now you're getting paid your dividends.
And now Moloney meeting fire with fire as they will take it down to the final bell. Big right hand sweeping across the belt line. Moloney right in the pocket. Right hand comes back from Guevara. Left hook upstairs. Good scrap between Andrew Moloney and Pedro Guevara for an interim belt at 115 pounds. The Australian fighter put forth a good effort.
Guevara was steamrolling coming forward. He had a good end to this fight. And let's see what the judges thought, Tess.
Well,
after 12 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge 1 scores the competition 115-113, blue corner, Guevara. Judge 2 scores the competition 116-113, red corner, Moloney. And Judge 3 scores the competition 113-115 for your winner by split decision and WBC Interim World Junior Bantamweight Champion, fighting out of the blue corner, Pedro.
There it is.
Guevara.
it was a close fight.
Yes, it
but
was.
I think the right guy won, Timmy.
You know, they could have went either way.
Very well-earned split decision win for Pedro Guevara in Australia against the Australian fighter.
That's amazing.